Once upon a time, there was a ship. It was a ship unlike any other ship, and it floated through time and space. Indeed, it floated through the dark nothingness and emptiness of an empty universe. It was not a spaceship, mind you, although it was in space. It was more of a small dinghy or wooden raft. And on that boat, there sat an old, withered man who time and himself had become good acquaintances with each other. Not friends, mind you, more acquaintances. And he sat there, and he sat there, and he continued to sit there as he had done for many, many, many years. And as he looked out into the blank nothingness of space, for what seemed like an eternity and what may well have been an eternity, he pondered to himself, is there any point that I should keep going? And as though he were alone on an empty, waveless river with a black nothingness of a sky above him, all at once, everything lit up. The sky, everything below him, it all lit up with the most wonderful yellow hue, as though he was a fish that had swum into a shoal of gold that had fallen from the sea. And it was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. Indeed, it was the only other thing he had ever seen. And in this moment, this immense beauty, he sat there stunned. All around him was this intense light, and off in the distance he looked, and he saw another boat. But is there someone else? He thought to himself. Could I be... Could there be someone else? And he steered his boat off and hurriedly paddled his way through space to get to this other boat. And indeed, when he got there, he found no one. Just an empty ship, much like his own. It might have been someone else who was in it at some point. There's no evidence that there was, but, well, it was perplexing, to say the least. And the man stood up for the first time and, well, what could very well have been the first time. And he stared at the boat. How similar it was to his own. But there was something different about it. Something that it held that was different to his own. So he stepped out of his boat and stepped into the other boat. It didn't feel much different, but it felt right. And so he turned around and pushed his own boat out, that someone else, somewhere, sometime, somehow, might find it and do the same. And that is my story.